So all of that power is great, and he's knocked people out. I just have to avoid that one shot for 8 rounds, and I believe that I can do that. So when I'm bouncing around the ring, jabbing, weaving, and doing all of these things, I know I can pick him apart and score points and make this a very, very big contest.
No shit, I saw it. And I don't give a f. Sure, he's looking good. Sure, he's looking all of that. Oh, he's dropping people. He's fast. So the f am I. People want the truth.
Chin's gone.
But he's still Anthony Joshua.
Which is stiff and no rhythm and no skill. Just power.
You're serious about fighting him?
Yeah.
This is the first time where Jake is in real danger. Say what you want about money and prizes and everything else, this is going to end badly.
Jake Paul has reacted to Anthony Joshua's latest training videos and says he believes he can beat Joshua easily. He brushed off AJ's workouts, saying they looked ordinary. Jake claimed the former heavyweight champion seems slow and overrated, repeating that he thinks he is already on Joshua's level. His comments quickly spread online, restarting arguments about whether Jake's confidence is unrealistic or a serious threat.
I would love it. I would love it. I would love to walk into the Lion's Den and have everyone saying fuck Jake Paul and then knock someone out like he did tonight. So we'll see what happens, but I know I can do it.
Who's that someone?
Anthony Joshua.
I know there's been a lot of noise today about a certain Tyson Fury placing £1 million on you to knock Anthony Joshua out if that fight's made. What's your response?
Jake Paul has officially started his training camp for a fight with Anthony Joshua, and his confidence is higher than ever. He has been loudly saying he will beat AJ without much trouble. Jake has criticized Joshua's chin, questioned his timing, and dismissed his overall boxing ability. Paul says Joshua is predictable and believes this fight is his chance to prove he belongs among the top heavyweights. Paul has been heavily mocking Anthony Joshua, saying he is easy to beat and questioning his toughness. On his podcast, Jake claimed Joshua has a weak chin, poor skills, and moves stiffly in the ring. This is more than trash talk. Paul seems to truly believe Joshua is beatable, using that belief to argue that this fight will change how people view his boxing career.
One words are that AJ's got no chin, he's stiff, and he's got no rhythm.
What a fool. What an absolute idiot. He's going to get absolutely annihilated. If this is real, he's going to get absolutely annihilated. And, you know, who can blame Joshua? Who could blame him? Offering him this guy for 40 or 35 million. God almighty. It's unbelievable. Put it that way.
At a recent press conference, Paul defended his mindset by saying his success comes from what he calls delusional optimism. He admitted many people doubt him, but said his strong belief in himself is what helped him rise when no one expected him to win. Jake embraces what others call delusion and views it as a strength that pushes him past limits and gives him
Anthony Joshua in less than a month. Why are you doing this?
I like to challenge myself. I like to take on the biggest, the best. I said anyone, anytime, any place. I truly mean that. And I'm here to go out there and shock the world. I know what I'm capable of. I see him and what he's capable of. And we're going to go to war, and we'll see the best man that will win. But people say, oh, he's out of his mind, all of these things. I've gotten to where I'm at today because of delusional optimism. And so it's delusion until it's not, because look at where we're sitting today. No one ever thought that this would be possible, that we would be here when I first started boxing, and no one thinks I'm gonna win, so join the list.
Paul is fully convinced he can beat Anthony Joshua, pointing to what he sees as clear weaknesses in Joshua's recent fights. On his podcast, Jake openly criticized Joshua, saying he lacks a chin, skill, and fluid movement. He believes Joshua's knockout loss to Daniel Dubois showed his durability is fading, making this the perfect time to fight him. Jake says his unusual style, confidence, and momentum give him a real chance in what many see as a very risky fight.
People doing this. Well, I think it's because he genuinely believes there is a chance he can win this. I think he's calculated everything about Anthony Joshua's circumstances and he's gone, yeah, I actually think I can do this. I can leapfrog so many years of having to build and go through the ranks and do all that stuff by beating a shop-worn Anthony Joshua. And what are the factors in Jake Paul believing this? Well, it would be firstly that AJ received a loss in his most recent fight. Anthony Joshua's not been in the ring since September 2024, so over a year by the time him and Jake Paul get in the ring together. It will have been around 15 months. It was the manner of Joshua's loss where he looked terrible. He looked like a fighter that was well past his best. His timing wasn't there. He even looked a little bit chinny, dare I say. I mean, I still think he's got a good chin. The shot he took from Dubois was absolutely massive and would have knocked down many heavyweights. And he showed decent powers of recovery to get up and struggle through for as long as he did before his over-aggression and miscalculation with the type of shots he was using got him knocked out by Dubois. But if you're deluded enough like Jake Paul, then perhaps you look at that and go, he landed a massive right hand on Joshua's chin. Why can't I do the same? I believe myself to be a very big puncher. And it's that old saying, isn't it? You know, you shoot for the stars, you might at least land on the moon. And I think that's kind of why Jake Paul's maybe got to where he is in life, because he does have too much.
Jake Paul is treating this fight as a final test, calling it a moment that could define his boxing career. He believes beating Anthony Joshua would prove he is a real boxer. To Jake, this is not just another big-name fight, but proof that he belongs at the highest level of the sport. He says that by facing a true heavyweight and former world champion, he is answering all critics. According to Paul, once he beats Joshua, all doubts disappear.
Fight a real boxer. They said, fight someone your size. They said, fight a world champion. We looked at a long list of supposed fighters for me to the world. Make no mistake, this is the biggest fight of my career. I'm walking into the lion's den. I'm doing something that no one else has ever done before. I, Jake Joseph Paul, will knock out, defeat, and embarrass Anthony Joshua Friday, December 19th, live on Netflix. My voice cracked, I'm still going through puberty. The biggest fight of 2025, USA versus UK. He's got the belts, the size, the history, but I have the balls. Be careful what you wish for. Jake versus Joshua, Judgment Day. He has a 90% knockout ratio, but I have a 100% chance of
Anthony Joshua, an experienced heavyweight champion, continues to show his dedication through intense training. His routine includes heavy strength work, hard sparring with elite fighters, and strong focus on both physical and mental preparation. Joshua has consistently faced top-level opponents, including Alexander Usyk, a former undisputed cruiserweight champion. Their first fight in September 2021 ended with Usyk winning by unanimous decision, using superior skill and accuracy to outbox Joshua.
The belts were finally out of my possession, which I was expecting to win. It just kind of tore me apart, and that's raw emotion live on your screen. Obviously, looking back, could I have dealt with things better? Yeah, of course. But at the time, that wasn't the priority. It was just outpour of emotion.
There are so many athletes we're seeing across gymnastics, cricket, rugby and football that have taken time out of their sport to deal with their mental health before coming back in. Did you at any point in that period think, I need to take an extended break away from boxing before coming back in? It wasn't
the fact I needed to take a break. You know what it was? I actually watched a lot of fighters, they've taken time out of the game for those reasons as well. And I think, okay, if they've done it, I should be doing it. But I got to look at myself as an individual. And what it is, I feel like if I take time out, I'm letting him.
While Jake Paul has shown strong athletic ability and commitment, his boxing experience is far less than that of seasoned fighters like Joshua. Jake's training focuses mainly on stamina and improving basic boxing skills. Right now, opinions about the fight are divided. Some people strongly believe Joshua will dominate, saying he still has the power size and experience to knock Paul out. Others believe Joshua is no longer the fighter he once was.
Weight concept presented by The Ring Magazine. And today, folks, I want to talk about one word: delusion. It exists to a degree I don't think I've ever seen in any other combat sports athlete, maybe Conor McGregor, but I don't really see it even that level when we're talking about what Jake Paul is going to try to do versus Anthony Joshua. Not just beat him, but in Jake Paul's own words, and we'll get into it in a second, he wants to and thinks he will knock Anthony Joshua out cold. And I think a lot of things are happening right now. People are on one end of the spectrum saying Anthony Joshua is going to flatline Jake in under 30 seconds, and if it goes past that, then AJ's a fraud and his time in the sport is done. I don't necessarily agree with that, and I'll explain why later. The other side is going, you know what? Jake might actually catch AJ. Jake might actually shock everyone because AJ got put down in his last fight. He got put down by Andy Ruiz. He's been hurt in a couple of different fights at this point. Maybe his chin's completely gone, and Jake has the speed and power to still put him down, even at the level Jake is currently residing in, which is only being in the sport for 5 years. I don't really agree with that either. I'm somewhere in the middle, but I'll say this. That word delusion I just talked about a second ago, it's Jake's biggest strength. It's the reason he's even in this fight with AJ. It's the reason that he's gotten as good as he has in the short amount of time he's been boxing. But maybe more importantly than that, this may be where his delusion finally leads to the end of Jake Paul's career. Because delusion in this business can get you hurt real bad. And I think for the first time, Jake Paul's delusional idea about how good he is in the sport and what he can do may have led him a bit too far. This is the first time where Jake is in real danger. Say what you want about money and prizes and everything.
Big names like Tyson Fury have even supported Paul's chances, saying Jake could knock Joshua out and calling AJ a declining fighter. They believe Jake's improvement and Joshua's possible decline make an upset realistic. The fight will follow full professional rules, not an exhibition. It will be 8 rounds of 3 minutes each, with both fighters wearing standard 10-ounce gloves. Joshua must weigh 145 pounds or less, which adds a tactical challenge. The fight will count on both fighters' official records.
Possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look.
Trainer Abel Sanchez strongly believes Anthony Joshua will knock out Jake Paul. In a recent video, he said clearly that Jake will get stopped. Sanchez does not see the fight as serious competition. He believes Joshua's experience, power, and polished boxing skills will overwhelm Paul. He dismissed Jake's abilities and suggested the fight is more spectacle than sport. The matchup came together suddenly, surprising even insiders. After Paul's team offered Joshua a deal with massive money and global exposure.
I don't blame Anthony for anything. I don't think that he's doing something wrong. I think that he's doing what he needs to do for himself, which is the proper thing to do in my opinion. Now, as far as the fight, I think that maybe 6, 7 rounds, maybe 5, 6, 7 rounds, Anthony will catch him with some shots and put him down, and I think the fight will be stopped. I don't think Jake presents a problem. I think that it's a low risk, high reward for Anthony.
The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch.
Eddie Hearn explained that there was originally a quiet plan for a smaller 8-round fight, but the deal with Paul turned it into a huge event with a payout many times larger. While Hearn respects Jake's ambition, he views this fight as a smart move for Joshua, keeping him active, increasing his profile, and setting up even bigger fights in 20 to 60.
My only concern is Dalton Smith and making sure he gets his shot at that world title.
Eddie, Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul, it was widely reported last week, confirmed earlier this week. A fight which I'm sure at the beginning of your journey together you would never have seen coming a million miles off. I saw a post that in 2017 on the night he defeated Vladimir Klitschko, Jake Paul was at some type of Disney Star Awards. Just your take on how this entire deal came together.
Crazy. I mean, we were presented with an offer to fight Jake Paul and we took it with both hands. I mean, we'd be crazy not to. You know, AJ was going to fight this week here. We didn't sign a contract, but we made an offer to Cassius Chaney. We were going to fight an 8-round fight here. We were going to rock up on fight night, just wrap the hands, and no one was going to know about it. And you wouldn't have seen him all week. We would have just turned up fight night. And now we're doing an 8-rounder a few weeks later for a 40th or 40 times the money we were going to get to fight tonight against Jake Paul. You can't make it up. I think it's crazy. I think Jake Paul, you know, respect to him, but it's a terrible decision from him. He's going to get beaten. He's going to get served up on December the 19th. And we're going to move on with our plans for a massive 2026, which is to fight Tyson Fury and try and position ourselves to fight for the world heavyweight title. This isn't for, I mean, say it's not a cash grab. I mean, we're fighting for the money, the profile a little bit, the ability just to run out, which is what we were going to do here. But nothing changes for us in terms of the focus of what we want from AJ's career. This isn't like, oh, we're going to fight Jake Paul and retire. This is just a quick little Christmas bonus. you know, and it's a hell.
At the official press conference, Jake Paul explained how he chose Anthony Joshua after the Tank Davis fight was canceled. He said once Davis was no longer an option, his team quickly searched for replacements and contacted several big-name fighters. Jake chose Joshua because he saw it as a real fight, not a YouTube stunt. He said this matchup pushes his career forward and proves he's not avoiding tough challenges. Anthony Joshua responded calmly, saying he respects Paul's ability and sees the fight as legitimate. He said the matchup is massive and has refocused his life and training for this return. Joshua made it clear he is not underestimating Paul and plans to hurt him in the ring.
Explain to us, when the Tank Davis fight fell through, what was the process in terms of picking who you'd fight next, saving this opportunity on Netflix, and then eventually picking, without a doubt, the most accomplished and toughest opponent that you have faced just yet?
Yeah, well, Joshua was always in the plans after Gervonta, and we just started talking to a bunch of different camps. Tommy Fury was scared, per usual, wanted more time. Ryan Garcia was scared. Terrence Crawford said yes, but wanted to do it later next year. I was like, let's get a fight in right now. Anthony Joshua said yes. He was ready in December. Let's run it.
AJ, my man. Femi, it's good to see you. It's great to see you. How did this come across your radar? And could I ask, what was your initial reaction when you found out that there was a possibility of fighting Jake Paul this year on Netflix?
Thank you for having me. Well, you got to give credit to Jake and his team. They reached out to me, to be fair. And it was a great opportunity for me. So it's an opportunity for me to fight. I wanted to take 12 months out of the game. And I'd done that. And then it was time to get back to work. So I was planning on fighting anyway. And actually, I would have been fighting this weekend if I had it my way. And this opportunity presented itself. And I said, yeah, why not? It's great. I think it's massive. It's colossal. It's making big news. We're bringing marketability together with ability. Those two worlds collide. You got Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. And we're here in Miami. We're bringing Europe, Africa, Asia, in Nigeria, the whole world together to watch this show on Netflix. It's going to be phenomenal. And that's